So, ooh, Shadow Spectres is still in there. Good, because I have a few of those. Hornets are in here, which is good. Urthal is, I think that's how you pronounce her name. Okay, so we still have them. I think we lost the Cobra, I want to say is what we lost. This is the Lynx, the Warp Hunter, the Wraithseer. Again, this is an army I don't know much about, so it's the only army in 40k that I don't collect, is the Eldar range. No, this is Scorpion. That's Cobra. What did they lose? I know they lost something. I know they lost that. It's one of the Wraith Knights. There's a Revenant Titan. I think they lost the Phantom. Nope, they didn't. They kept both their Titans. Are their Titans worth it? Because I know the Titans are like super, super, super big. 3,000 points and 1,500 points. Well, at least at 1,500 that knight can be taken. I do want to show up to an event with just a Warhound with double flamethrowers and just be like, this is my 2,000 point list. Have fun. I might actually do that. I really might consider it. Oh my god, phone, shut up. You're super annoying. Because I got two people arguing on this. There we go. Then we can move on to Drukhari, or Drukhari, or however you want to pronounce it. I always heard it pronounced Drukhari, especially by GW, but it might be Drukhari. I think it actually should be Drukhari, but I know a couple of the letters are silent. It's weird. Meh. They have the Reaper, the Tantalus, and that's it. The Necrons, I know their stuff got worse, because yeah, weapon skill and bliss skill 4+ now. The Synaptic stuff took a big hit and went up to 4+ for the weapon skills. Synaptic Tomb Sentinels, yeah, they went to 4+. The Tesseract Arc went to a 3+. That's pretty good. Night Shroud. Wait, isn't a Night Shroud just a normal thing for them? Huh. No, wait, no. The Night Shroud was a piece of equipment they used to have. Pylons are 3+ still. This Warpek Heavy Construct. That's cool that they renamed it. Or no, that's not Scorpack. Wow, sorry, my bad. Shriptic? Okay. Yeah, it's not bad. Century Pylons. So they got to keep all their pylons and everything, and their pylons are pretty cheap. How much is this pylon, this fortification one? Because if you take a fortification network, they might not be bad. Yeah, they're 100 points per, plus the heat cannon if you want to take the heat cannon. They're honestly not bad for what they do. Especially if there's a fortification network. I don't know if there still is, but I'm pretty sure there is. I forget every now and then. But if you could take 9 of these things, that'd be really funny. 900 points, just drop these things everywhere. Actually, like, dropping 5 of these things might not be a bad idea. Like, as silly as it is, just dropping 500 points on these things to get a focused death ray, strength 12, AP -4, D3 +3 damage weapon is pretty decent. And I think the only weapon you have to pay for is the heat cannon. Yeah, it looks like. Dropping 500 points on that might be good. Warboss on bike, he's back! I'm so happy you made it, and so is Buzzgob. There he is. The Warboss on a bike made it back. So, yeah, super happy about that. Big Mac Buzzgob, Grop tanks are still here. It doesn't look like they have the core abilities. No, or at least none of these do. Knobs on Warbikes, Mecha Dreads, Squigoths. I think we lost Gargantuan Squigoths. Big Tracks, Kill Wagons. Nope, that's Gargantuan Squigoth. Kill Tanks, Custom Stompa. I'm surprised the Custom Stompa is here, to be honest. So, Yeah, Grot tanks are here. Can replace one of its big shooters with a Grotzuka rocket launcher or custom Mega Blasta. And I think, honestly, you keep it with, like, the most hilarious weapons. The Commander, spelled with a K, and ending with an A, it's amazing, can be equipped with the following: Big Shooter, Grotzuka, Rocket Launcher, Custom Mega Blasta, which is exactly the same as the other ones, which is weird. Their fast attack choice, they're actually dirt cheap for what they are. Oh, and you get 3 of them. And what's a Ballistic Seal 4+? Yeah, they're not bad. They're like little Imperial Guardsmen, just in tiny tanks. The Grot Mega Tank made it. The Chin Ork didn't make it, unfortunately. So the Grot Mega Tank has a 4+, stays at 4+ the entire time, gets weaker in strength and lower attack, so pointless. Its movement goes down quite a bit. I love that it moves D6 +6. So these things might move 12 inches. I really like that. It's very orky. Has Daca. What the hell? Really? I didn't think the... Oh, and they get clan benefits, but for being Gretchen? I think Gretchen negates that. Alright, so the Grot Mega Tank is equipped with 3 big shooters, 2 big shooters, 1 shooter. Okay. It's equipped with 6 shooters. Any number of this model's big shooters can be replaced with one of the following: Grotzuka, Rocket Launcher, Custom Mega Blasta. I'm sorry, this thing rocking around with 6 custom Mega Blasters might be the funniest thing I've ever seen. I would definitely do that. Any number of this model's big shooters can be replaced with 2 Scorches, 2 Grotzukas, 2 Rocket Launchers, or 2 custom Mega Blasters of its twin big... Okay, quick correction on the Grot Mega Tank, because I was reading it over better. This thing has 3 individual big shooters, then it has 2 twin big shooters, then it has 1 shooter. So any of this model's big shooters can be replaced with one of the following. It does apply to all of them, or no, it applies to these 2. And then any number of this model's twin big shooters, because it's a separate weapon, can be replaced by these. So you can still do a Grot Mega Tank with only custom Mega Blasters and watch it kill itself, which is hilarious and very orky. Or in this case, grotty. Knobs on Warbikes, oh wow, I remember when their section took up an entire page at one point, back when I played in 5th edition. So knobs can move 14 inches, which is really good. Weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 5+, strength 5, toughness 5, 3 attacks, 3 wounds, leadership 6 to 7, save 4+. They're the same as they always are. Any model can be equipped with 1 slugger, which is okay. Any model, any number of models can have their chopper replaced with one of the following: a big chopper, 1 kill saw, 1 power claw, 1 power stabber. The hell is a power stabber? Or 1 slugger. You can replace this thing's big chopper with another slugger. You can have a boy shooting two pistols. So they lost all their combi weapons and their big shooters. Not the big shooters, the twin shooters. But that's honestly okay. Let's see what they're equipped with. Every model is equipped with 2 Daca guns and a chopper. Okay, so they have Here We Go, Mob Rule, Daca, Captain's Orders, and they have Clan. And again, no marking of core units or anything for them just yet. Knobs on Warbikes are actually pretty decent. I like them. I've always liked them. I always thought they were good. They're hard to make, but when you get them, they're really fun. I enjoy them. And I think now the War Boss actually benefits them. Oh wow, he actually might not. Depending on the wording of the new rules, he might not affect them. Okay. So then we have the Mega Dreads, or Mecha Dreads. These things are phenomenal. These things are so much fun to make. You just give a Dreadnought Sentinel legs and you pretty much have a Mecha Dread. And then you just, throw a bunch of weapons on it. So this thing has a movement of 8, which is pretty bad. It can benefit from the Mech Boy custom workshop, so keep that in mind. It has a weapon skill of 3+, goes down to a 5+, which is really bad. A ballistic skill of 4+, which is interesting because it's not a grot, it's an orc in there. Strength and toughness of 7, 16 wounds versus the 9 of the other ones. 4 attacks, leadership 9, 3+ save. There's only one of these in a unit. It's cool that it has 3+ save. It's one of the best for the orcs. Mechadreads are a massive walking warwalkers that resembles a Megadread, but fitted with a plethora of mechanical arms and mechanized gubbins to allow for battlefield savaging and repairs. For all the creations of the mechanics, or mechanic, yeah, mechanic, I don't know how to pronounce their mechanics, I always just say mechanics. Creations, the Mechanods is these constructions come close to rivaling their creators' minds. Indeed, each could be called an ideal self-portrait of its maker. Interesting. So this thing has a dread, is equipped with 1 kill cannon and 1 dread ripper claw. So the kill cannon is, or is that a kill saw? No, it says kill cannon. I forget which one's the kill cannon. I could check. I think it's strength 6 or strength 8. I can never remember. But it can have a dread kill saw, which is a melee weapon. It's strength +1, AP -4, damage 2 each time the bearer makes an attack. Add 1 to... Bleh. Each time the bearer fights, it makes 1 additional attack with this weapon. So, yeah. Then it has the Dread Ripper Claw, which is strength ×2, so 7, 14, AP -3, D3 +3 damage. So it's a pretty effective killer if it can get across the battlefield. This model's kill cannon can be replaced with one of the following: a Dread Kill Saw, a Dread Ripper Claw, so I assume if it has 2, it gets 1 additional attack. This model's Dread Ripper Claw can be replaced with one of the followings: a Dread Kill Saw, a Kill Cannon. So you can have this thing equipped with 2 kill cannons. Huh. That actually sounds kind of cool. I like that idea. Just 2 kill cannons, just poof, 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 poof. Right across the field. Hitting on 4s is not bad. Here we go, Daca Ramshackle. It's cool to see that it has the Ramshackle rule. Fiction Job. At the end of each of your movement phases, this model can repair 1 friendly clan vehicle model within 1 inch. It cannot repair itself. If it does, that model regains D3 lost wounds. A model can only be repaired once per turn. If you put 3 of these things in a triangle formation, they can repair each other. It explodes and Ripper Claws. If the bearer is equipped with 2 Dread Ripper Claws, then each time it fights, it makes 1 additional attack. I still think giving it 2 cannons is the best way to go. Squigoth is a Squigoth. It is adorable. Movement of 10. I think this thing is just a truck, essentially. Strength and toughness 8. Damn. This thing's way better than a truck. 4 attacks, leadership 9, wounds 18. Holy crap. Gorin Horns. I get it because it's goring you. Which is strength user, so strength 8, AP -3, D6 damage. This model can be equipped with a cannon. If it is, its transport capacity is 6. So does it have any weapons? No, it just has its Gorin Horns. Here we go, Daca Stampede. Each time this model finishes a charge move, select 1 enemy unit within engagement range of it and roll a d6. On a 2+, it suffers d3 mortal wounds. Damn. Enraged Dismay. When this model is destroyed, roll a d6. Before removing it, on a 6, it becomes enraged. And each unit within 6 inches suffers d3 mortal wounds. So it kind of sadly explodes. Oh, that's sad. It like tries to fight as it's dying. I literally think that that's supposed to be howdy. In your shooting phase, units can embark on this model and can select and can be selected to shoot, measuring the range and draw line of sight from any point on this model. When shooting with a unit embarked on this model, they do not count as being within engagement range of an enemy unit, and this model made a normal move or fell back, they count as having remained stationary. And any other restrictions or modifiers that apply to them also apply to models embarked upon it. For example, this model advances, the embarked models count as having advanced. That's actually pretty neat. So if it counts as remaining stationary for just moving and it moves 10 inches, it might be kind of cool to put Ludas inside this thing. It's toughness 8, so they would be pretty safe. Or Burnas. Burnas in this thing would be insane because of how many shots you get out of it. What is that? 10 Burnas out of it? 9 Burnas? Or just put a bunch of knobs or a bunch of boys inside it and just run at your opponent. This model has a transport capacity of 10 flash kits or 10 clan infantry models. I like how flash kits are separate. It can transport mega armored... it cannot transport mega armored or jump pack models. It's kind of cute. I like this thing. It's like really adorable. Alright, we are getting close to being done with this book. By that I mean there's a lot. There's still a lot. I like the squig-off. It's cute. So then you have the big tracks. It has the Super Cannon, which is range 60, heavy 2d6, strength 8, AP -2, damage 3, blast weapon. But it's more than likely going to miss. But if it hits super hard. This is the big track, so it just has a gigantic cannon on it. So what happens when you point artillery straight at something? This model can be equipped with a cannon if it has a transport capacity of 6 instead of 12. If this model is not equipped with a cannon, it can be equipped with 1 super cannon. Cannot transport. Okay. Daca, which is really good on this thing. Ramshackle, which is really good. Open-topped, so it can be guys can shoot out of it. Spiked Ram. Each time this model finishes a charge move, select 1 enemy unit within engagement range of it and roll d6 on a 4+. It suffers d3 mortal wounds. So it can charge into combat and kill some stuff. This model has a transport capacity of 12. Yeah, we went over that. It can transport flash kits or clan infantry. Mega armor and jump packs take up 2 room. Alright, then we have the... wait, this one also has a super cannon. The Kill Wagon. Okay, which one's better? Well, this one has 16 wounds. So this one's a little bit bigger. This model can be equipped up with 3 big shooters. Okay. So this thing has more guns. Because this only has 2 big shooters, and this just has the super cannon, then 3 big shooters. Cannon Wagon Grot Gunner. Ooh. Each time this model makes an attack with a super cannon, add 1 to the attacker's hit roll. Oh. That's super good. That is really good. So 4+ with 2d6 shots. Your average is 7. Hitting on 4s is 3.5. Wounding at strength 8, so it's wounding on 2s. So that's about 3 to 2.7. That's really good. 3 damage, that's definitely killing Marines. That might kill an entire squad of Marines. And with Daca on top of that, adding a little bit more of a percentage. The kill wagons are really cool. As the Gargantuan Squig-off is a Lord of War. It's definitely probably not worth taking, but it's still super fun. So Squig-off Super Cannon is exactly the same. I think it just has longer range at 60. Nope, they're all 60. This thing starts off with 36 wounds and goes down. Starts off with a movement of 10, goes down to 6. Attacks starting at 8. This model is equipped with huge tusks. It's used tusks, so strength user, so strength 12 to start with. AP -4, D3 +3 damage, which is amazing. This model can be equipped with 1 cannon. This model is not equipped with a cannon. It can be equipped with 1 Squigoth super cannon. If it is, it has a transport capacity of 15. So this thing normally has 20, which is still super good. Does it have the Grot Gunners? No, it doesn't. So it has Here We Go and Daca Daca Daca. It has the Howdy special role, which we read earlier. It has Stampede. So when it gets into engagement range on a 2+, they suffer D6 mortal wounds. It has Gargantuan. If this model is enabled to make a charge in a turn... Oh, it may make a charge in turn and fall back. Each time this model makes a normal move, advanced move, falls back, it can move across... Oh, it can charge even if it made all of those. Each time this model makes a normal move, advanced move, or fall back, it can move across models as though they're not there, except for vehicles and monsters. Enraged Demise. Oh, when it dies, it attacks. When this model is destroyed, roll D6 before removing it from play. On a 6, it becomes enraged, and each unit within 6 inches suffers D6 mortal wounds. Oh, you poor bugger. He just wants to attack everything before he dies. Then we have the Kill Tank, which is aptly named, and it has the Busta Cannon, which is an awesome name for a weapon. It's 3d6 shots at strength 10, AP -3, 3 damage. This thing's a Lord of War. It has the Giga Shooter, 48 inches, heavy 30, strength 6, AP -2, 1 damage. They have special rules, the first one being Blast. Each time an attack is made with this weapon against the target within half range, add 1 to the attacker's hit roll. That's super good, and at 36 you're looking at 18 inches. So, damn. Each time an attack is made with this weapon against a target within half range, add 1. So 48 is 24 inches, so hitting on 4s is amazing. Reinforced Ram, so this thing is actually good in melee too, hitting on 4s. And does 3 damage, damn. Okay, it starts at 24 wounds. This model's Busta Cannon can be replaced with 1 Giga Shooter. I would actually keep the Busta Cannon. I know it's weird, but I like the Busta Cannon. It's fun. Daca Daca Daca, Kill Tank, Grot Riggers. At the end of each of your movement phases, this model can regain up to D3 lost wounds. This model can only be repaired once per turn, so you can't repair it with anything else. Has the Ram rule, so on a 2+ within engagement range, after it made a charge, of course, you suffer D3, a unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. That's pretty cool. Then with the Custom Stompa, there's a lot to get into there. I'm not getting into it. It's a lot of points. So the Kill Tank, its size is 1 model. It's 275 points. That's actually kind of worth it. And the Gargantuan Squigoth is 510. I don't think it's worth it at that amount of points. Alrighty, moving on to Tau. Okay, so Tau is an army that I am familiar with, but don't know too much about. I only started playing them a couple of times, and to be honest, they're a bit confusing. So I do know some lore about them, and I really do like them as an army and a faction. Okay, sorry, camera died again, which is awesome. I keep not fully charging my batteries, so this happens a lot, so I do apologize. But as I was saying about the Tau, some cool things about them. 1, they're fighting 3 hive fleets at once, which is a feat that no one else in 40k has been able to do except for them. They fought off 2 entire chapters of Space Marines, multiple guard regiments, Sisters of Battle, Titan legions, all at once during the Damocles Gulf incident, which ended in a draw, by the way. They killed, 2 chapter masters during that? So, pretty cool. They've killed Imperial Fist because literally everyone has killed the Imperial Fist. It's not even funny anymore. But yeah, so kind of some cool lore about the Tau. They're extremely powerful. So, moving in, we have Shas Ora Ally. I don't know how to pronounce that. But that's Chasso, which means leader in the Firecast. So this is a battle suit. Moves 8 inches. Weapon skill 3+. Ballistic skill 2+. Funny enough, it has a weapon skill 3+. This thing had a close combat weapon. That'd be awesome. It has the black light marker, which I'm sure it uses on some people's beds and laughs at them. But a range 48, assault 1, marker light. So yeah, it's just a marker light. The experimental pulse submunition rifle has different. Wow, it has 3 different. Before selecting a target, select one of these following profiles and make an attack. EMP 24, assault 1, strength 1, 8p, nothing, damage 1. Each time an attack is made with this weapon against a vehicle, on a successful hit roll, the target suffers 3 mortal wounds, and the attack subsequently ends. Damn, just 3 mortal wounds on a vehicle. Okay. Hyper density sabot. Assault 2, 36-inch range, strength 9, AP -2, 2 damage, which is okay. And then it has the Ionic Cluster Beam Shell, which is 24, assault D6, strength 6, AP -1, 1 damage, blast. So I'm not going to say this is bad, but this is pretty not good, especially for a Chasso, when you can have 4 experimental systems on one, or you can have 4 melta-guns on one, and it's just infinitely better because its damage output skyrockets. Its weapon skill 3+ is ultimately pointless. For the greater good, Master of War, Manta Strike, so it can deep strike. Eclipse Shield Generator has a 4+ invulnerable save. In addition, add 1 to the armor saving throw, so it has a Storm Shield. That's kind of cool. Assassin, each time this model makes an attack against a character unit, you can reroll the hit roll and the wound roll. Okay, that's pretty good. Photon Cluster, each time this unit is declared as a target for a charge, subtract 2 from the charge roll. That's okay. For the most part, you want to keep these things up on buildings, so it's much harder to assault them. Actually, it's much easier to assault them, especially with the vertical distance now. But overall, this thing is kind of bad. Just gonna say it, it's really bad. Moving on, we have the XV9 Hazard Close Support Battlesuits. I don't care if its name is just Hazard Battlesuit. I remember when this thing was called the Hazard Close Support Unit, and it was the best thing ever. And it is my favorite. So, oh, please tell me you didn't nerf this thing into the ground. Ballistic skill 4+, which is average for them, so use some marker lights to get it up to 3+. Strength toughness 5, wounds 4, 3 attacks, leadership 8, 3+ save. You can have 3 of them in a unit. You can have the fusion cascade, which is range 12, assault D3, strength 8, AP -4, D6, and it's a melta-gun. Or you can take its weapon of choice, my weapon of choice, the twin hazard burst cannons. 18 inches, assault 8, strength 5, damage AP nothing, damage 1. It's amazing. But now that they've named it the hazard burst cannons, it actually doesn't get the benefits of the greater good. So it doesn't get the benefits of the AP -1, which kind of sucks. For each battlesuit in this unit, it contains up to 2 tactical drones. This characteristic and war gear of these models can be found in Tau Empire. With 2 hazard burst cannons. So this thing has 16 shots with these weapons, which is pretty decent. Any number of models can have any twin burst cannons replaced with one of the following, which is the phase ion gun, which is an arguably worse weapon, or the fusion cascade, which is an arguably better weapon. Any model in this unit can take items from the support systems. Back in 5th edition, I remember these things were able to take 4 twin burst cannons for a grand total of 1,000,000 shots. Like 1,000,000 shots. All the same rules as everything else. It has -2 to charge it, which is pretty decent. We don't see core in here, so that's kind of cool. We also don't see that you benefit anybody with an aura ability, which is interesting. The XV-107 Yavara battlesuit, or Arvana? Yeah. This is the super good one that everyone took in 8th edition. It did take a bit of a nerf. It went down quite a bit of shots. And I don't know how it works anymore because it doesn't have its shield drones. Shield generator has a 5+ invulnerable save. There's nothing about passing saves onto drones. So that's kind of concerning if Tau can't do that. It might be in the Tau Codex coming out at some point in the future. But if it doesn't save onto battlesuits, I'm worried. Again, none of the battlesuits have core. So I assume all their aura abilities will affect all of them. Nova Reactor. In your command phase, you can use this model's Nova Reactor. If you do inflict 1 mortal wound on this model, then select one of the following effects. It has a 4+ invo save. At the start of your command phase, you can select the Nova profile of this model is equipped with. Okay. And then until the start of your next command phase, in each fight phase, roll a d6 for each enemy unit within 6 inches of this model on a 4+, they suffer d3 mortal wounds. It's kind of cool. You can do a little spin shooting, which is neat, but I'd rather get him out. He does have fly still, so he can still jump out. And he has nothing else. That's interesting. Oh, shielded missile drones. So that's under the Riptide. Interesting. Okay. I think his wounds went down to 15. I'm not sure. There's the Tetras. I love these things. They're not really that great, but they're kind of cool if they do hit, because they score a ton of marker light hits on things. So their high intensity marker light is 36-inch range. Heavy 3, strength, AP, and damage of nothing, and just puts marker lights on things. But it can put 3 marker lights on something, which is super good. It can outflank, which is also ridiculously good. It's a flyer, it's a vehicle, and it doesn't suffer the movement penalty. And you can have 4 of them in a squad. So you can have a ton of these things in just one squad. And there's the XV-109. This thing is crazy good. I don't know too much about this thing. I've never really gone up against a Tau player that was using these things. I've gone up against 2 Tau tournament lists in 8th edition, both of which were running Storm Surges and both of which were in my first game, so I don't count those as full tournament lists. So I do apologize about my lack of experience with these things. But there's its Nova Reactor, which is... Wow, my accent fully kicked out on that. If anything ends with R's, it's going to end with A's with me. For the greater good, shield generator is 5+ invo save. Nova Reactor takes a wound and does something, or inflicts a mortal wound and then does something. At the start of your next command phase, this model has a 4+ invo save. At the start of your next command phase, you can select the Nova profile of the weapon this model is equipped with. So it's Nova profile. Okay, so that's what that meant. I was an idiot with this one. So the only way to get its Nova profile is if you overheat it, and then you get it next turn. That's actually a huge nerf. Okay, until the start of your next command phase, add 12 inches to the movement characteristic of this model, and it's eligible to shoot in the turn it falls back. So this thing just jumps away 30 inches, which is useful. So yeah, the only way to get its Nova shot is by overheating it and getting it next turn, which causes a wound to it. That's actually a massive pain to it. It used to be just you take the mortal wound and then you do it. But waiting that turn, ugh. So I guess the next turn you just, hope for the best and pop up the 4-up invo. The Dx6 Stealth Drones. These things are pretty neat. You never see these things. You also... Ooh, the Barracuda's in here. This is a flyer. I actually have one of these things. I really want to get my Tau army painted. I need to send it out because it's going to be painted yellow, and I just don't have the time to paint it. I'm painting Dangles right now. So the Barracuda has its railgun, burst cannons, and long-barreled burst cannons. It's pretty interesting. It's actually pretty tough at toughness 7, but it's not great. Their flyers are kind of all over the place. I've never actually fought one aside from the Manta, which is weird to say, by the way. The only Tau flyer I've ever fought was the Manta. The XV 1-0 Tiger Shark, and then there's the Manta in here as well. The Orca is gone, by the way. And I was about to say, if I turn the page and it's there, I'm going to cry. And then we got the KX 139 Unara Supremacy Armor, or Unar? Supremacy Armor? I have no idea how you want me to pronounce that. 50 points, or 50 power. This thing is massive. I think this thing went up in points. Yeah, it's 1,000 points now. And this thing kills Titans. So everything that kills Titans is cheaper than it by half its value, which sucks so much. But these things are pretty terrible. They have to lock themselves in place, I believe. No, the one from GW locks itself in place. This one's actually pretty good. I'm going to skip it because I only fought it once, and I don't have the experience whether or not to tell you 1,000-point Tau battlesuit is bad. I'm pretty sure you can look at it and go, yeah, that's pretty bad for 1,000 points. Because that's half your army invested in one unit that has 30 wounds and easy to kill. Especially if it can't pass off wounds to its shield drones. Which we don't know yet, so I'm not saying that it can, and I'm not saying it can't. As of right now, I think it can, but with the new codex coming out, it might not be able to. And new codex coming out is anytime between now and forever. We don't know. Tyranids! High Fleet Kraken. Let's just go. The Mountainthrope is in here. The Mountainthrope is amazing. It's an HQ choice. It's absolutely terrific. Let's see. It has Shadow in the Warp and Synapse. Enhanced Toxic Miasma. At the end of the fight phase, roll D6 for each enemy unit in engagement range of this model on a 4+ and suffers D3 mortal wounds. Pretty useful, but usually these things die on the first round of combat, so good luck getting that. When a friendly high fleet unit that is not Titanic is within 6 inches of this model, each time a ranged attack is made against that unit, subtract 1 from the attacker's roll. So this would be super useful if it if terrain didn't already do that. And then it has prey adaptation, and yeah, with 9 wounds and it being a character, it can hide, which is useful. Stonecrusher Carnifexes, it still sucks that they're in units of 1 instead of units of 3. They're bad because they're not in units of 3, so I don't like them. But I do love the way they look, and I think that they can be terrific because their Bioflail is strength 8, AP -1, 2 damage, and you make 2 attacks for each hit, which is 8 attacks with the damn thing, and it's really, really, really good. Its Wrecker Claw is, if the bear is equipped with 2, it makes an additional attack. You can reroll the hit roll. Each time an attack is made with this weapon is allocated against a vehicle or a monster model that attack has a damage characteristic of 5 instead. So super useful for killing other monsters. It's strength ×2, so strength 14, AP -3, 3 damage. I'm not saying it's bad, it's just slow. And that's the big part. It's really slow. His instinctive behavior and catching, so it has a pretty good saving throw. I don't think it explodes either. Each time this model finishes a charge move, you can select 1 unit within engagement range and roll D6 on a 4+. It suffers D3 mortal wounds. If it's a vehicle, it suffers D6 mortal wounds instead. So really good. Okay, so moving on from my complaints about the Stonecrusher still not being that great because he's a unit of 1. He's also, I think, pretty expensive too. Let's see. Oh, did they lower the Barbed and Scythe Hero Duel to... Oh. They're now heavy supports instead of Lord of Wars. That actually makes them pretty decent. Okay. I like that. And then the Stone Crusher is 105 points. Yeah, I don't think he's worth it over just a regular Carnifex. So that's actually pretty massive that they lowered these things down so you can take them in an average list. The Barbtura Dual is definitely better than the... No, actually it's the other way around. So the one has 2 biocannons, which are range 48, heavy 6, strength 8, AP minus 2, 2 damage. And they're pretty okay until this thing starts getting wounded. It has 18 wounds with a 2+ save. This thing is going to survive quite a bit. This thing's essentially a souped up Tyranids. The biocannons being strength 8, they're pretty decent at marine killing. But let's see. Actually, comparing this thing to the Tyranids is pretty apt. I think they're around the same points, aren't they? Tyranids is 250, just about. And these things are a little bit, just actually comparable points. I might need to break out my Scythe and Barbtura Dual. They might see play. I'm actually excited about that. Does this make up for the Avenger Strike Fighter? Then the loss of the Repressor? No. Am I going to complain about that still to this day? Absolutely. But is this really cool? Absolutely. So also its Death Throws just automatically deals 3 damage. 3 mortal wounds. I think that's pretty cool. The acid spray of this one isn't as good as the acid spray of the Tyranids in my opinion. Because the acid spray of the Tyranids is 2 wounds, thus making it 100 times better. And it just has instinctive behavior. They're not core units. There's no core units, at least, mentioned here. Oh, I didn't get to the Daca or the Spores. Wow, I skipped right over these. I am so sorry, everyone. I did not mean to do that. I will get to them. But what we see is the Hero Dual. The Scythe Hero Dual is cheaper. But I think the Barbtura Dual is going to win this one out. I remember when biocannons used to be like super impressive. Let's actually compare this to their old biocannons. Let's go right here. And let's go with buggies. There we go. Tyranids. We had the Daca, the Barbtura. See, they were Lords of War. And we're looking at the Barbtura Dual and looking at the biocannon. Oh, I guess the biocannon did just always suck. I mean, D3, I would take the 2 over D3. It didn't get a nerf on range. Its power, it got cut in half for its point. These things are worth taking. Massive Scythes, Hero Dual Scything Talons are a bit different now. Strength plus 2, Strength User. They used to be Strength 10, so it's still Strength 10. AP minus 3, D6, D3 plus 3. This thing is better and cheaper. But it lost its agility, which is okay. What was its movement? Its movement was 22 inches. Now its movement is only 8. So it's definitely a lot slower. But that didn't matter for this creature because he was essentially just a gun platform. Instinctive Behavior and Titanic Monster. This one's not a Titanic Monster. That's so interesting that they sized them down. Okay. And we'll check out the Hirodin in just a second. Alright. But before we move on to the Hirodin and Hero Dual, we're going to go back to the Mycetic Spore. And let's take a look at this thing. 3 inches. It's Floating Death. It's a Living Bomb. I don't think much of it changed. It's still 3. It's the same exact thing as it was before. Yeah, it's literally copy-paste of the same stat line. 3 rules, 1, 2, 3, 4 rules in this one, but 4 rules. Fly, Spore, Mines, Mycetic, yeah, they're exactly the same. And then we have the Sky Slasher Swarm, which It's just rippers that fly. They're okay. They're dirt cheap. So if you're looking for a cheap way to actually play your brigade detachment, you can do it with these guys. I think they're like, what, 10 points a piece for a flying unit? They're 15 points a piece. At 15 points, I don't think they're worth it. If they were 10, I would take them. So now, the biggest thing is the Daca, and we're going to compare this to the Daca in this book as well. See what changed on it. Now, the Daca I always thought should have been a Lord of War. So we have the two Daca next to each other. Movement for this one went 12, 9, 6. This one goes 12, 9, 6. Then its weapon skill went to a 5+. Then its ballistic skill goes down. Not its number of attacks. Okay. Alright, I like that. Strength went to 7 instead of 6. Toughness is 7 instead of... The Daca got better. So far, from what I'm seeing. 3+, leadership 10 to leadership 8. So it went down to leadership. I don't know why it had a leadership of 10. So it's massive scything talons, which it didn't have in this profile. It had the gripping talons and thorax spine. This one has massive scything talons and massive scything stickle talons and scything tail. So I guess these two weapons are supposed to be the same. Strength 8, AP -3, D3 +3. Each time an attack is made with this weapon, you can reroll the hit roll. This thing doesn't have any of those things. Okay, then it has its scything tail. This thing did not have a scything tail originally. And it has strength user, so strength 7, AP -3, 2 damage. And each time the Barophytes make one additional attack with this weapon, and no more than one attack can be made with this weapon. So this is just an additional attack to the 6 attacks that it has, so 7 attacks with this thing. That's actually pretty good. But this one had a strength 10 attack. And he went up in points. I say he, it's actually a she, because all Tyranids are inherently female, except for 2 of them, which is the broodfather, the Trevagon, which carries its babies around as though it was a seahorse. So then it births them out, which does make it male. And the Swarmlord, which is always referred to as male. So this thing then has Digestion Spine and the Leaper Killer. This thing has Leaper Killer. So this thing didn't count moving over terrain or anything when traveling. This model has a 5-foot imbo save. Okay, so it includes that. In addition, each time this model makes a move, normal move, an advance or fall back, or it makes a charge move until that model is finished, it cannot move horizontal. It can move horizontal and vertical through models and terrains. It cannot finish its move on top of things or on top of another model or a base. Okay, so what it's saying is it doesn't count terrain, I assume. Alright, so that's the same with this ability here. It has death throws. It now explodes. It never exploded back in the day. Then it has Thorax Spines. So this was a weapon, now it's a special ability. After this model has made a close combat attack, before its consolidation, select one enemy unit within engagement range, excluding an aircraft. That model's player rolls a d6 and adds their strength characteristic. If the result is equal to or less than the model's strength characteristic, that model's unit suffers d6 mortal wounds. And that's similar to what this does, but this just seems better. So they roll a strength check? Player rolls a d6 and adds the model strength characteristic. If the result is equal to or less than this model's strength characteristic, which is 7, that model's unit suffers d6 mortal wounds. So yeah, this guy just one-shots things if he can. Huh. And then Digestion Spines, which is an ability here, which gave it the 5-up invo save. If an enemy models are destroyed as a result of this model's Thorax Spine Maw ability, so that ability, at the end of the turn, this model gains the following ability until the end of the battle. Regenerative Physiology. Each time this model would lose a wound, it gets a 5+ invo save. 5+ feel no pain. This thing gave it a 5-up invulnerable save. So how much is the Daca Stampede now? That's the question of the day. Daca Stampede. It's a fast attack. It's 230. So his points didn't really change. What were they back in the day? Okay. Tyrant points. I know this isn't the updated points, so forgive me. The Daca Stampede was 200. So he's gone up by 30 points, I think it was. Did I say 230? Yeah, 30 points for an overall... is it a better creature? Moves 12. So I was wrong. It moves 12, not 8. And the Daca Stampede in this... Let me go to my adorable little buggies. The Daca Stampede in this moves 12. So the movement didn't change. Sorry, that was my bad. I've read that wrong before. This claw ability used to be strength 10, though. I used to get 6 attacks at strength 10. It used to be really good. And now the claws are strength 8, AP minus 3 d6 damage. So it does more damage. I think it's worth it now. It's not great. This thing will die pretty quickly for a Tyranid, but it moves pretty fast. If you run it with High Fleet Kraken, you get to move in advance. If you take line, you're moving 32 plus 3, so 35 inches up. Or you're moving 12 plus 3 is 15, and you need a 24-inch charge turn 1. So that's gonna be a tough choice. You could use the ability to make him run further, but then you're not giving it to your Genestealers. I think he's good, but he's not great. I think the real winners here are the Barbtura Dual and Scythe Dual, going down to heavy supports and ultimately their points being cut in half. So then we're going to compare again, because I have this, and I love my bugs. Oh, there's the Orks. They're the biggest and the meanest. So we get the Hierophant Bio Titan and the Hierodin. So let's go over the Hierodin first. I'm going to keep this right off camera. All right, so the Hierodin has a movement of 45 inches. It used to only move 30 inches. So it had 4 stats instead of 3. It had 34 wounds instead of 30, so it went up in wounds. Also went up in power, so that's not good. It went up in points. So let's go through its base stat line. Its movement went from 30, 20, 15 to 10. Now its movement goes to a minimum of 25, which is better. Okay, then its weapon skill goes to a 5+, which is the same, so it goes 3, 4, 5. This one goes 3, 3, 4, 5. Its ballistic skill goes 3, 4, 5. This one goes 3, 4, 5, and then 6, so it gets worse at shooting. So this one isn't as bad as this one. Strength is now 8, which is huge. It used to be toughness Strength and toughness of 7. Now it's strength and toughness of 8, so it's way more survivable. Wounds went to 34 instead of 30. Attacks stayed at 5. Leadership of 10, now down to 9. And a 3+ save. Alright. So then its weapons were massive scything talons, which were confusing because those massive scything talons in the core rulebook that weren't the same as this one. Now they got gargantuan scything talons, which is strength +2, so strength 10, AP -3, 6 damage. And each time an attack is made with this weapon, reroll a hit roll of 1. So that's pretty good. And it used to be strength user, so strength 7, AP -3, D6 damage. And then it had the reroll of 1s and making 1 additional attack. So this one is just, this one's better. So this one has the strength 10 attack. So this thing's killing aircrafts like they're nothing. Then it has its biocannons, and it has dire biocannons now. So its biocannons used to be heavy 6, now it's heavy 8, 48 inches. Strength 10, strength 8 for the old Tyranids. AP -3 for the new one, AP -2 for the old one. AP -3, yep. And then 3 damage, and it used to be D3 damage. So this one just got better, so far as what I'm seeing. Frenzied Metabolism, both have that ability. The first time this model is selected to shoot with in each of your shooting phase, you can use this ability. If you do, this model suffers D3 mortal wounds, and until the end of the phase, each time this model makes a ranged attack, add 1 to the attacker's wound roll. So you're wounding on 3s if you're shooting a Titan. Actually, you're wounding on 2s shooting a Titan. That's pretty decent. Its old ability, its old ability for that was at the start of your shooting phase, you can choose to have the Tyranids suffer D3 mortal wounds, but it adds D6 to the strength of the biocannon during your current turn. So I actually think the +1 to the wound roll is way better than that, because you're going to be shooting this thing at tanks. Excuse me. Sky attack. When moving the Tyranids, it is moved in the movement phase. Pick 1 enemy unit it has passed over, and it immediately suffers D3 mortal wounds. And this ability does not target units composed entirely of characters. So a very confusing old ruling for Sky attack, and it does not have that anymore. It has airborne, which means that it's a flyer and it's very hard to hit. It has hover, which the old one did not have. So this thing can just stop moving. Its movement goes down to its minimum. Then it has Titanic Models. This model is eligible to charge even if it fell back, which is good. It's an aircraft, it's a flyer. I'm glad that they just flat out call it an aircraft. It's stupid, but it works. That throws, it explodes, and it has supersonic, and it has hard to hit. Flying Titanic Monster. Tyranids can fall back in the movement phase and still shoot and charge. It had the old flyer keyword. Did it lose its transport? Nope, it can still transport 20 gargoyles. So now let's see the point difference of the new Tyranids, which is the Lord of War. The Tyranids is 700 points, which it is not worth 700 points. Okay, and the old one for the Tyranids, this is Necrons. We're not looking at Necrons. Tyranids. Tyranid units. Tyranids is 740. So he did go down in points, which is good, and got better. But overall, he's still kind of mediocre. He's cool. That's definitely cool. And then we got the Hierophant for 43 power level, and its old was 90 power level. So it got more than cut in half. Got cut in half and then -2, because that'd be 45. So this one's going to be interesting. So you're gonna see the hero dual right here, but I'm gonna be looking at this. Actually, might be easier just to do. Nope, never mind. This is an impossibility. So you're just gonna have to trust me. All right. So the movement was 10 inches. The movement was 12 inches originally. So that's pretty big. It had 4 stat lines instead of 3. This one goes down to a minimum of 6. This one goes down to a minimum of 3. I have 1 to 4 wounds. This one has 1 to 9 wounds, going down to 6, which is pretty big. Weapon skill deteriorates. The weapon skill also deteriorates. It goes down to a 5+ in this one, so they're both pretty much the same. Its ballistic skill goes down, which the old one's ballistic skill did not go down. So that's really, really, really interesting. Also, a slight typo on this one. The ballistic skill was just 3. There was no 3+ or anything. So see how the ballistic skill is 4+? Just thought I'd point that out. All right. So this one's ballistic skill gets worse. So that's a big hit on this one. It goes to a 5+. Strength of 8 used to have strength 10. Toughness 8, toughness 8. Wounds 34, wounds 50 for the old one. Okay. Attacks. Now the attacks deteriorate on the older one, but on the new one they stay at 6, so it stays at max. Leadership 10 for the old one, leadership 9 for the new one. 2+ save is exactly the same. Then this one has the dire bio cannon, which is a macro weapon, which doesn't exist in this edition, which is interesting. So 9th edition did away with macro weapons, which was silly, but they were also super useful for Tyranids for taking down super heavies. They just doubled the damage that they dealt. So the dire bio cannon was macro 6, strength 10, AP -2. Now it's 48 inch, still the same. Heavy 8, so it got more shots. Strength 10, AP -3, 3 damage. It used to be 2d6. So the bio cannons, they took a huge nerf. There are 2 of them on this thing. So it's 16 shots, but still, losing the 2d6 damage, oof. And then it's got its bioplasma turret, which it still has at 12-inch range for the new one. The old one was 8 inches. It was a pistol instead of a assault weapon. So it's a pistol 2d6, now it's assault weapon 2d6. Strength of it was 5, now 7, AP -3, used to be AP -2, 1 damage, 1 damage. This weapon, okay, so more notable differences is each time an attack is made with this weapon, it automatically hits. So both of them auto hit, but the new bioplasma turret, or torrent, is just better. But the pistol was kind of cool, but that doesn't really matter in current edition. Because these things can just shoot all of their weapons into combat anyway, so they all count as pistols essentially. Actually, I think this thing has that rule. I'll have to check. I might be wrong about that. So then the next rule is death throws. Still has that. 2d6 suffers d6 mortal wounds. So this one explodes bigger, but this one exploded on a 4+, which was super, super crazy. It actually made the Bio-Titan more of a nuisance than anything else. Hyper Poisonous Clouds is a new rule. And this one does, at the end of the fight phase, roll a d6 each time this model, for each enemy model engagement range. On a 5+, they suffer 1 mortal wound. And I think this thing's, where are you? No, this thing has nothing. Oh, this thing does. When an enemy unit inflicts 1 or more wounds to this model in the fight phase, roll a dice at the end of the fight phase. On a 4+, that unit suffers a mortal wound is the closest thing to that. Then it has its Titanic Rule and Bio-Titan Warp Field. So for a 5+ invo save. This thing also has Titanic Monster and does have a 5-up invo save. So, is equipped with a Bioplasma Torrent, 2 Dire Biocannons, Lash Whip Pods, which we do see here. It's a melee weapon at strength 5, AP -1, 1 damage. Each time to bear fights, make 10 additional attacks with this weapon, and no more than 10 attacks may be made with this weapon. Holy crap, that's actually pretty good. Lashing Pods, make 3 hits for this weapon. Yeah, this one does way more. But this used to be Strength User. So Strength 10, AP -1, 2 damage. Now it's Strength 5, AP -1, 1 damage with 10 attacks. So that could be... I think the old one's better. So what else do we have on there? I think that's pretty much it. This model has a transport capacity of 20 High Fleet infantry models. Each model with a wound characteristic greater than 1 takes up 2 spots, which I wish they would do as a way of saying that all transports can take anything in the game. Just be like, oh, Primaris take up 2 slots, boom, done. Anyway, that's just me complaining. So this thing used to be 90 power, so it is going to be a massive point sink. And the Hierophant used to be a total of 1,800 points, and is now, by the way, all the point costs are really close to each other, and is now 850 points. It lost 1,000 points. This thing at 850 is... not really worth it. I don't know how I feel about it. It feels like it could be so much better, and it really should be. And you can see how dusty mine is, and how the legs have bowed and everything. I have to heat treat this again because the legs bow from its weight. And you can see all the cracks and everything from constant repair. Let's put you over there. That went straight down my throat. Awesome. But going down 1,000 points at 850 points, I might actually surprise an opponent with him. At toughness 8, he's not terrible. And if my opponent doesn't have las cannons, he's going to be pretty tough to kill. So, I don't know. It might be cool to see you. And you have Gargantuan Scything Talons at strength +2, so strength 10, AP -3, 6 damage. And you get to reroll hit rolls of 1. And you can transport 20. So if something gets close to this thing, I could just drop out 20 infantry from it. You know what? I think I'm going to take it in my next game. I am so going to take it. It's going to be dumb and stupid, and I love it. Oh, and it has a designer note about not having a base. And you measure between its legs. That's kind of neat. All right, I like that. So, that was the Compendium. There's been a lot lost, a lot gained. Actually, nothing gained. A lot changed. Tyranids went down. I think Tyranids are clearly the winners here. Because going down in points is super awesome. And losing the Lords of War makes it so that the hero duels are valuable, or like usable. The biggest hits in my opinion, and this is going to be way different than anybody else's opinions, is the goddamn freaking yeah. My poor airplanes. My Avenger Strike Fighter. At least I only had them with las cannons, but I like the missile launchers on them. Just saying, just saying. I also like the missiles on them, the health strike missiles. And there's no like options or anything. Let me just check that really quickly because I didn't check that. I'd be annoyed if I did freak out and it's like, oh, by the way, it has an option, it's just not there. I'd be like, you jerk. Let's see, where are flyers? flyers. Arvis Slider, Avenger Strike Fighter is 165 points. It's not bad. It's not good. I'm annoyed. I'm very annoyed. The Arvis Slider's too many points at 85. So yeah, I want to know your guys' thoughts. What do you think are the biggest winners, the losers, and why am I so upset about my Avenger Strike Fighter? Be sure to comment all of that down below. Also, while you're down there, be sure to check out all the links in the description down below. There you can follow me on all sorts of social media, including Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Patreon. Patreon goes a long way to helping me out. It pretty much supports me at this point, and yeah, it's a pain in the butt being a content producer during an apocalypse. Anyway, guys, as always, I'm NornQueenAlexis. I love you guys. Bye.